love and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Haley and you're watching Between the Pages. So I have several book reviews for you today also. The first one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is the first in the Crowns of Axia series, I believe is what it's called. And this is about a girl named Aurea, and she is the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn King. And she enters this competition called the Kajari to basically, if it's kind of like the Hunger Games, if you win, you get a wish from Axia, who's like their goddess of like the vampires and everything, and you get one wish. So that's kind of the whole point of this. And now I'm just going to tell you some of my thoughts about it. These are going to be very disjointed because they are from my Tumblr, which is where I kind of like live blog my ideas and like theories and like what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about it. So the Nightborn, like they have like different houses. There's like House of Night, House of Blood, like different houses like that. And as soon as I saw House of Night, I was like, ooh, was Carissa Broadbent a fan of PC Cast? Because that is what her series is called. It's called House of Night. I used to read it when I was a teenager and like a preteen. I want to do a reread or like an audiobook reread of those one of these days and like kind of talk my way through the entire series. So that was one of my thoughts. And then it's giving major Hunger Games vibes because they go to a ball like the night before, and then like in the middle of the like ball they're transported into the Moon Palace, which is kind of like the arena. And like a lot of times like the Moon Palace will change its layout and everything, kind of like the arena does in Hunger Games, to kind of like pull the contestants, tributes, whatever you want to call them. And there's a little twist with Rayan, which I was like, I kind of saw it coming, and I'm going to have to spoil some things, so just know that this is going to be a spoilery video. And Rayan is actually a bitten, like a turned vampire, whereas like some vampires are born and then some are bitten or turned, and that's what Rayan is, which explains why he doesn't react like other vampires do, because other vampires have never been humans, so they don't have any humanity whatsoever, kind of like Aurea's father, the Nightborn King. Like, he's never been human, so he does not see things in like the human perspective at all, whereas Rayan used to be human. It's been like 200 or so years since he's been human, so it's been a while, but he still's like held on to his humanity, and he's a complete sweetheart, and I love him. And his best friend Misha, or Mish, I'm gonna call her Misha, I think it's Misha. She's great. I love her. I love her so much. And she's just so great. I really hope we get more of her in the sequel, which I think comes out in June. And I think it's called like The King of Ashes or something like that. I will put the title right here because I can't remember what it is now. I should have written it down before I started this video, but I didn't, because we just do things off the cuff here. We don't plan. We just do it. And so I really want to see more of her because I loved her so much. I hope we get to see more of her. And there's an attack that happens on the Moon Palace, and Vincent, the Nightborn King, I was like, I bet he planned this, because he is the heir to whatever, I forget what kind of vampires they're called, but there's like the Rishan, which is what Rayan is, and then there's Vincent and the other vampires, and they're a different breed of vampires, and you can tell because like Rayan has feathered wings, and the other types of vampires are described as having like bat wings, so that's how you can really tell the difference between the two races of vampires. And that's what Vincent has been through the Kajari before, so that's what he used his wish on, was to become the heir to the throne and basically usurp the throne from the Rishan vampires that currently held the throne at that time. And so Aurea is originally from Rishan territory, and that's where Vincent found her and like took her in. and he knows that she wants to go back to Rishan territory to like find her family. So I was like, I have a feeling that Vincent staged the attack on the Moon Palace to make it look like it was the Rishan, so he would have an excuse to go to war, because they haven't been at war in centuries, and like Vincent's itching for a war. And so I was like, pretty sure I called that. Spoiler alert, I did. I knew. I was like, this is too good to be true. And then there's this one quote that I just have to read to you. And it was like after, I think it was like after a fight scene or whatever. And Ryan is like looking at Araya like he has never seen her before. And like, she's like the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. And the quote is, Ryan, he was on his knees staring up at me. And that way, the way he looked at me was the first thing that felt real. Real and raw and confusing, because he was looking at me in sheer awe, like I was the most incredible thing he had ever seen, like I was a fucking goddess. And then she like runs into his arms, and I was like, oh my god. Like at that point I was like squealing in my head, because I was like, oh, I love these two together so much. And like at one point all of the stores of blood were like have been used up by the vampires, and so Ryan is like slowly starving, and Raya's he's like, just feed on me, just do it, like you're gonna die otherwise, and I don't want you to die, so you need to feed on me. And so he does, and like it's kind of like in True Blood, where the vampires feed on people and they get like really turned on, and she wants to go further, and he's like, no, you're under the influence of my venom. Like, I want you to want me without this. And I was like, we love a man who drinks his respect women juice. Ryan, baby boy, is amazing. And I can't remember what my prediction for Araya's wish was, because this was like 2 months ago when I read this. Hence why I'm looking at my notes to see what I thought. But like for some reason, right before Ryan and Araya had sex before the last trial, I was like, wait. What if Ryan was the heir of the Rishan? And I was like, I don't even know why I thought that. Well, because it's like he's never described as like showing his body, and like the heirs to the throne have like a tattoo on their body to show like, hey, I'm the heir. And I was like, well, maybe Ryan has one hidden, because like she's never seen his like entire body, and I was like, oh, maybe it's hidden somewhere. And so like by the end, like Araya has to kill Ryan so she can win the Kajari. Then she uses her wish to bring Ryan back, so that makes Ryan the winner, or she wishes for Ryan to have won the Kajari, so it basically brings him back to life, and he gets to use his one wish. And his wish is to be restored to the throne. So you find out that Ryan has been the heir to the Rishan throne this whole time, and the only reason that he's not king of this country is because Vincent used his wish when he won the Kajari to be the king, and so that basically stripped Ryan of his birthright. And I was like, I remember reading this and be like, oh my god, what the fuck? What the hell? I was like, oh my god, I was right. Like in a roundabout way, I was like, I was right. And like, I don't know how I called that. I really had a feeling, I guess because I've read a lot of fantasy books. I know the tropes and the twists and things, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I just pulled that out of nowhere, and I was like, oh my god, I was right. And like in the end, like everyone is like, oh, and like for some reason, when Ryan kills Vincent, like Araya becomes the heir, and she gets like the tattoo and everything. And so all the Rishan are like, kill her, you have to kill her. And he's like, no, we'll do this instead. I'll marry her. So it's like a forced like marriage of convenience, and she's like so pissed at him, and he's like, I'm sorry, I love you, like I couldn't kill you, what did you want? And so, oh my god, I cannot wait for the sequel. I've already been like sort of kind of spoiled for some things, because I went into the hashtag when I shouldn't have on Tumblr, which was my own stupid decision, it was my own fault. So yeah, I think the book comes out in June. I really hope that Owlcrate does another special edition for the sequel, but if not, I will go ahead and buy the sequel anyway, because I really want to see what these two get up to. And so yeah, that was my rambly review for The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, and I will see you guys later. Bye!